Right behind him, Cameron Hildreth. Just over 13 points per game for Hildreth, joined by Williamson, Monsanto, and Andrew Carr. Here's a look at the Toyota starting lineup. Visit your local Toyota dealer today for Notre Dame. Told you about Starling and what he's done. He and his teammates are going to shoot some three-pointers. They average over 9 made threes per game. That's second in the ACC, and they're third best percentage-wise from beyond the arc. Wake Forest in the traveling black and old gold has the opening tip.
And Tom, Notre Dame and Wake Forest going small with their starting lineup. They feel it's a better matchup with Notre Dame's three-point shooters. Both of these teams, very good offensive teams, not so much defensively.
Wake Forest second in the conference, over 77 points per game. Taking the shot clock deep. Here's Carr from behind the line. Laszewski grabs it for the Irish.
Yeah, that's the one matchup they were really concerned with was Laszewski outside, and Carr is a much better matchup than Marsh on him.
Irish 10-12 this season, 2-9 in conference play. That includes a recent win here at home on Saturday against Louisville, 76-62. No midweek game. Goodwin with the spin, couldn't finish it off and couldn't chase it down.
And look for Notre Dame to post their guards. Goodwin and Starling, and a great take there. Hildreth has made a huge jump this year. Big improvement, 13 points a game, the crossover. And, you know, there's no shot blocker out there for Notre Dame. They're going to take charges. Laszewski was late sliding over. And one thing Notre Dame can't suffer, Tom, they can't get in anybody in foul trouble. They are really thin.
77% from the line of the season for Hildreth. Unable to complete the old school three-point play for the sophomore from Worthing, England. Irish shot 45% as a team in the winning effort last Saturday. Here's Cormac Ryan, long distance on the three, and Appleby snares it. Number one on the run, and the recovery and the block. Hammond got back to block that shot by Appleby. And now Hammond at the other end. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
You know, I think that Notre Dame will be more opportunistic in their running. They don't play at great tempo, but here on the block shot, things opened up. You got Appleby trailing the play. That's a terrific block there. And then on the other end, he pays it off. Hammond with a nice left-hand finish.
Marcus Hammond, the graduate student from Queens, New York, has a three-point play. He's a transfer from Niagara, first year in the Notre Dame program. 129 games in his collegiate career. Of course, you could say that. Extensive experience about a lot of these Notre Dame players.
One of the oldest teams in the country as far as experience, 6 grad students.
Monsanto is the three-point specialist for Wake. He's inside the line and gets a kind Purcell Pavilion bounce.
And, you know, nice shot, good soft touch, but if you're Notre Dame, that's what you prefer, long twos from him instead of threes. He doesn't do a lot of scoring inside the arc.
Wake Forest lost Tuesday at Duke, 75-73. Ryan offline and out of bounds, and to the Demon Deacons. Time for our Ford keys to the game. Visit your local Ford dealer with Mike Jaminski.
Yeah, you look at it for Wake Forest. We talked about last 3 games, Tom. They've lost by 2 points in each one. They've just got to finish things at the end. And for Notre Dame, control tempo. They will run, but a little bit slower pace in the half court.
It's going to be a traveling violation. Look like Williamson, the extra stutter step. Keep an eye on those keys as the game progresses, Mike.
Yeah, Tom, and Williamson has been dealing. Everybody's got some sort of issue. You know, he plays a ton of minutes, and his back has been bothering. Has not been shooting the ball well in this losing streak.
Starling's been shooting it well, although that is off the mark.
We saw him a couple weeks ago against BC. He was very reluctant to, you know, insert himself into the offense, but he's been more aggressive.
Laszewski the rebound. Bounces out of bounds and will stay with the Irish. Mike, you talked about Starling in the win against Louisville. He had 22 points. That was a game high.
And he's got to feel like he's playing with grown-ups on this team.
Steve Forbes head coach for Wake Forest. Steady improvement in his seasons with Wake, coming from East Tennessee State as its head coach. Goodwin trying to back his man down. Monsanto, the scoop, pops around. Monsanto grabs it.
Yeah, a couple times that they've tried to post Goodwin, but Monsanto was a good matchup for him defensively.
Appleby put on the brakes. That bounces off. I told you to expect three-point shots from these teams. What we haven't seen yet, Mike, is a make from beyond the three-point arc. Teams are combined 0 for 5.
I don't know that the wake-up call has arrived yet. Maybe after the first TV timeout here.
Good one again, trying to work in the paint. Hammond races out of the corner, can't spin it. Appleby looking for help from Hildreth.
Pretty good transition defense by Notre Dame to get back and stop the break.
Wake Forest shot just 37% for loss against Duke, and a close-in miss from Carr. Starling. Get around Carr, and he does it.
He's going to be really good. I love his game. You know, especially he gets that three-point shot a little bit better. You know, the key in this game we're looking for is the high finish on his follow-through. Good mobility in that shoulder.
Hammond in the passing lane. It's 10 on 11, and 10 wins.
You know, it's tough. He's running downhill. You're backpedaling, and never an easy play, but you have to understand he's left-handed and wants to get to that side.
Marcus Hammond got his 6th start of the season, so far making the most of it. Had 8 points in the win against Louisville a week ago. No midweek game for Notre Dame. Hammond had a couple of threes in that win against the Cards, who subsequently got their first win in ACC play against Georgia Tech midweek. Up ahead, Goodwin. Monsanto just enough to disrupt Goodwin.
He was too concerned about where Monsanto was instead of finishing the play.
Laszewski pokes it away. 2 on 2. Goodwin. It'll drop, and he's going to the line for the Irish. Dane Goodwin, the graduate student, all the way to the rack, and he'll earn a free throw as well. Irish in front. By the Fresh Market, voted #1 best supermarket in America. And by Z-Max Micro Lubricant. Extend engine life, increase fuel mileage. Available at Advance Auto Parts. 2015, the Irish won the ACC tournament in Greensboro with a win against North Carolina in the title game. Made it to the Elite Eight that year, Mike, in the NCAA tournament. And won 32 games back in 2015.
And Mike Braid talked to us beforehand, Tom, about, you know, just finishing out the year. He said the spirits have remained good. They come to work every day, come to play every day. Feeling good about themselves after a win their last time out.
Coach Bray announcing on January 19th that he would be stepping away from the Irish program as the all-time leader in wins. 13 NCAA tournament appearances.
Now both teams different look. They're both going big. There's some size at the 4 and the 5. And it gets Matt Zona on the floor.
Coach said we would see Matt Zona. 25 in white. That's Hildreth. Couldn't get it over the front rim, and Zona's in the box score with the board.
We've seen some guards in on the post trying to take advantage of their size, and this is the thing that Steve Forbes would like to keep Notre Dame in the half court, but Cormac Ryan, nice shot.
A graduate student from New York City and a transfer from Stanford. 107 career games for Cormac Ryan. Leads the team in made threes this season with 44. He's approaching 200 career made three-pointers.
4th turnover for Wake Forest.
Ryan leads the break. Got it back from Starling with the aerial pass.
Yeah, Hildreth chased the play down and forced him to abort the shot.
And a soft bounce and 2 more. Coach Forbes doesn't like it. He wants a timeout. The lead is 10 for the Irish.
Well, take a look at this, and we talked about keeping him in the half court. They want to drive him off the three-point line, but Cormac Ryan, the nice pull-up, gave himself some space. You know, and the thing is that, you know, Notre Dame has not hit a three, Tom, but they've been pretty efficient, and they've been opportunistic in those 4 turnovers and getting out and running.
And remember, Wake Forest attempted 31 threes in their loss at Duke, second most this season. So we're still waiting for that.
Only 2 so far in this game, the first 6.5 minutes.
Appleby right now has not scored. Hammond's been a factor for Notre Dame as well in the early going.
This is something that they fooled around with, and Laszewski picked up that early foul, and he's able to. We're going to see some matchup zone for Notre Dame as well.
Offensive foul.
Bradford that time with got his elbow up, trying to hold off his defender.
First on Davian Bradford.
Aside from Appleby, this is a very tall lineup out there right now for Wake Forest. I think Steve Forbes just trying to find a group that'll gel and work well together.
Trey Wirtz is in there for Notre Dame as well, number 3 in white and gold. He's got the basketball now. Shot clock winding down. Back to Zona. 2-man game for the Irish.
That's big offense. I mean, you've got Laszewski out of the game. It's a three-point shooter out, and Matt Zona, who has not seen a lot of court time, is fired up as well. He should be after that made basket.
Notre Dame has made its last 4 shots and is on a 13-0 run, up 16-4. Clinton into the game for Wake Forest as well, 34 in black and old gold. Appleby has to shoot a 3. I don't know that hit the rim, Mike. And the officials, now they're
going to wave it off. They reset the shot clock thinking that it did, but not the case.
Clarence Armstrong, Brent Hampton, and Mike Palau are officials this afternoon.
There it is, and their half court offense has not been very sound at all.
So there is a timeout on the court. The Irish in front, 16-4 in the first half. Matt Zona, who had not played in the last 2 games for the Irish, has a bucket here in the first half. Grabbed a rebound as soon as he came into the ball game. Mike Bray told us number 25 would get some activity, and he has. For the Irish this season, 10-12 on the year, in the breakdown, Mike, of the wins and losses.
Yeah, you could see, plus 10 in their wins. They can score the ball 76 points a game, and also a minus 10 in the opponent's scoring as well. They shoot it well, 48%, and they also get to the free throw line too. You know, the big thing right now, and this is a Notre Dame team that does take care of the basketball. That's one thing they do a good job of, and right now it's 6-0 in turnovers for Wake Forest.
So the officials have determined that previous sequence was a shot clock violation against Wake Forest. So Notre Dame has the ball. Notre Dame, a decent shooting team on the season, 45% and 8th in the conference. Mike mentioned the free throws. They're 4th best in the league at 75% from the stripe.
It's interesting for so far in this game, the three-point shot has been, that's an offensive foul. Three-point shot has not been a part of this game.
Cormac Ryan picked up the offensive foul. Told you that the Irish make 9 threes per game. Guess what? Wake Forest makes 9.1 and second best in the ACC. Haven't seen the 3. Offensive foul against Cormac Ryan.
They were trying to work him into the lane area. Appleby did a nice job of sliding and picking up the offensive foul.
Dangerous pass. It's out of bounds. Monsanto couldn't catch up with it. It's now 7 turnovers in the first half.
Right right now, the body language not real good for Wake Forest. I mean, the turnovers, 4 points in the first 7.5 minutes, 8.5 minutes.
Just Monsanto and Hildreth have made field goals, and that picture right there will tell you. Take a look at Steve Forbes, 3rd season, 9th overall as a head coach. He's 1-2 against the Irish. He's head coach of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Posted a victory against visiting Notre Dame last season. Starling twisting and missing.
Both teams actually have gotten into the lane and missed some layups.
Wake is 0 for its last 6 shot attempts with 7 turnovers. Appleby stepping into a 3. Long rebound. Hammond. Laszewski cut off by the defending of Carr. About to go inside of 11 minutes to go in our first half. So glad that you're with us. Wormy, Jaminski, Notre Dame, Indiana, ACC basketball, and our outstanding production crew. Laszewski. Goodwin had some position underneath.
Appleby with the foul, trying to block him out, and there were 4 or 5 black jerseys around Goodwin, and he came up with the ball. And with the size that Wake has out there, that should not happen.
Goodwin. Miss on the baseline after scoring in double digits with 10 points in the win against Louisville and 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
Got his second double-double this season against the Cards. Might have committed the foul at the other end, Mike.
First foul, but you know what, and for not that, you know, they're missing Paul Atkinson from last year, so you know Goodwin has to rebound more, Starling has to rebound more, and they have been in this stretch.
Goodwin averages over 5 boards per game as Wake Forest throws it out of bounds. Dane Goodwin, representing the Irish well as a graduate student. School record 149th career game today for Dane Goodwin. Building on the school record, didn't set it today. And he'll continue to add to his total as we head to Greensboro, North Carolina, where the Fighting Irish won back in 2015.
Yeah, and Tommy, wonder with the COVID year thrown in there that if those records will ever be broken again, you know, unless they start to play a ton of games every year.
A lot of experience on the floor in and around college basketball and the ACC.
It is, and that's, you know, yeah, and that's they needed that offense desperately, but still, I mean, it was just there was a lot of standing around for Wake, and he was fortunate to get a good look.
Goodwin wants to answer that 3 from Monsanto. Appleby up for the board, and then he traveled. Hammond impeding his progress.
Well, nice job, and Hammond got switched over to defense quickly. Appleby was not expecting that.
Mike, this Monsanto 3 is the first by either team in the game, combined 1 of 10.
Yep. That was not an easy shot either.
He's the guy you'd expect to hit a 3 for Wake. He's made 69 on the season, has 155 in his career, and he leads the team in threes made. Hammond a little bit out of control. Monsanto let the defender fly on by. Misses the 3. Carr over the top. It is tipped out of bounds and to Notre Dame.
Yeah, really, you know, Wake really, you know, relies on Hildreth and Appleby and Monsanto. Those big 3 have to have big games.
Notre Dame's win on Saturday stopped a 4-game losing streak. Their last win prior to that was also in conference play. Overtime at home, mid-January against Georgia Tech, 73-72. Starling, a multitude of moves. Goodwin in traffic, knocked away. Klitman might have got a piece of it.
Good recovery, second offensive rebound they've given up to Goodwin.
And then Klitman fills the lane from Hildreth.
I'll tell you, you talk to the Wake Forest people, and they love this kid. They think he's going to be a terrific player. And this is what Wake, that's when they're at their best, getting out, running. It all started with the block on the other end.
Bobby Clinton, the freshman from Malmo, Sweden. Had 8 points and 4 rebounds against Duke. He had a couple of threes against the Blue Devils. Laszewski will bend that rim for Notre Dame.
Normally you're playing him for a pop coming off that screen, but he kept on curling, had his defender on his back.
First 2 points of the game for Nate Laszewski. How about the game we saw him, Mike, at home against Boston College recently?
In a loss, it was just didn't miss much in that game.
29 points and a career high for Laszewski against the Eagles in the home loss. Goodwin. Just about 7.5 minutes to go here in our first half. 15th all-time meeting between the programs. Starling not high enough on the square.
See, against Williamson, that's the one that he's got to finish inside.
Davion Williamson, number 4 in black, transferred from East Tennessee State, where he played for Steve Forbes, and it's Glidman. Nifty move.
Yeah, taking over in this game, got out in the fast break early on, puts the ball on the floor, shoots it well enough from 3 that you have to honor him.
35% from beyond the arc as Clinton took it right to the rim. Laszewski got it back. Williamson jogs it up.
Carr, nice job getting back to that pick and pop and challenging his shot.
Irish have cooled off, Mike. Just 1 of their last 11 shot attempts. Carr pirouettes and scores.
Yeah, I mean, we had that sour look from Steve Forbes early, but they've worked themselves back in.
So the Irish have led by 12. They get a bucket back at the other end.
The spacing that Notre Dame has, there are all sorts of driving opportunities. There's just nobody in the lane to help that time.
First basket for Wirtz. Lead is 7. Forest is 3 and 5 on the road this season, 2 and 4 in conference play away from Winston-Salem. Williamson the catch and release, and Hammond gobbles it up. Wake Forest now 1 of 8 on 3-point tries. Goodwin pounds it into the floor. Laszewski. He got bumped, the ball went in.
Before the shot.
Okay. So Laszewski was fouled on the play. His team leads by 7. 20-13 in the first half. Williamson reaching in. Hildreth defending. Foul against Wake. No basket.
In a crash.
So while these teams are taking the 3-point shot, they are not making an abundance of them so far. 20-13 is the lead for the Fighting Irish. It has been as big as 12 in the first half.
Yeah, that's that subtle little word in there, Tom. You know, you have 3-point shooting range, but you have 3-point making range.
That's right. And there you see the illustration today. Just 1 of 14 combined for Forbes and Bray's team.
And right now, Tyree Appleby has not scored in the game, so you know, all things considered, Wake probably fortunate they're only down by 7 at this point.
Appleby averages over 18 points per game. Laszewski was fouled on the most recent sequence.
And how about this? They got Laszewski and Zona out there. I think Matt, that was an early good rotation for him. So Mike Bray said he's going to play some more today, but earning his time out there.
Zona has a field goal and a rebound. Here's Ryan.
And that's what he's going to do out there. Cormac Ryan, boy, he's just so solid in his execution. But Matt Zona is going to be a screener in this offense. So Marsh has got to be active and vocal.
Cormac Ryan has scored in double digits in his last 3 games. Marsh, feed from Hildreth.
And that's why he shoots almost 88% from the floor.
So Marsh with the basket for Wake Forest.
You know, the thing is that Marsh is playing way off zona, but he's not there to help on the screens.
Marsh is 52 of 59, Mike, shooting this season. Now, granted, it's relatively close to the rim most of the time.
And then 42% from the free throw line. There he goes. Good take from the right hand. And I like that for a player, Tom. You know, if you're struggling in a game and attack the basket, get a layup, see the ball go through the rim, feel a little bit better about yourself.
9 of 19 and 27 points in the loss to Duke in the most recent game for Wake for Appleby. He's got the ball now. Got into the box score scoring-wise with the bucket last time down. Going inside of 4 minutes and a half. Monsanto just stepping back and nailing it. Irish take a timeout.
Yeah, and it's the three-point shot that's come alive for Wake Forest.
Monsanto with a fancy dribble to escape the defender. 7-0 run for Wake.
This is...
And it's Golden Dome on the Notre Dame campus. Monsanto. He's the only player in our game, Mike, to make a three-pointer so far, and it's a two-point game. Irish in front.
That's what he'll take 7 a game. I mean, that's where he makes his living. He makes 3 on average.
And the average is 13 points per game for Wake Forest. Shoots 40% from beyond the arc, third best in the conference. Nice bounce for Wirtz. Wirtz, the graduate student from Charlotte, North Carolina. Providence Day School, a transfer from Santa Clara. Appleby trying to lull him to sleep with the dribble. Marsh trying to rip it away from Laszewski. The arrow on the held ball will favor Notre Dame.
That wasn't bad defense by Zona. He got the Appleby's eyes got really big. You get that big guy out of the free throw line, you know he can take him off the dribble, but he stayed and look, he just bothered it enough that Appleby overshot the mark.
Irish basketball shooting 37% as a team in the first half. They are 0 of 7 on three-point attempts. Zona set the screen for Wirtz. Marsh for the rebound.
That's the thing. I mean, is when Zona sets a screen, if you come off that, you're going to have a good look if it's a good screen.
Nowhere to go for Hildreth. Zona guarding him. Hildreth around Zona.
It's like, can I guard Marsh, please? I really like guarding centers more than guards out front.
Cameron Hildreth.
Nice take.
Sophomore from Worthing, England. Recovered by Wirtz on the errant pass. Ryan looking for the spot. Marsh up for the rebound. Well, Marsh might only play 4 minutes off the bench at Duke in the most recent game for Wake.
Yeah, it's going to be situational, I think, with him.
Easy board for Laszewski.
Williamson has just really struggled over this stretch. Last 2 games, 3 points total for him, 1 of 10 shooting.
Wirtz was doubled, dropped it low to Zona, and was knocked away. Hildreth recovered.
Hildreth with the block from behind. Zona never saw him.
Monsanto steps into the 3-ball and knocks it down for the Demon Deacons.
Defensively, you have to run to the 3-point line to find him. That's where in a rush up the floor, he's going to linger. He's been getting great looks.
First player into double-digit scoring today, and his 3 gives Wake Forest a 1-point lead late in the first half. Pinpoint passing, Laszewski from Ryan.
Again, the great spacing, and even Zona outside that time as a screener, and a really nice back cut.
Irish taking the lead right back. Notre Dame 5-1 on its home floor against Wake Forest in the series history. Inside of a minute to go, and the shot clock winding down on Hildreth. Has to get the shot away, and does, as he got around Zona.
Yeah, and then normally you'd see Appleby with the ball in his hands and the clock running down like that, but Hildreth did a nice job. Instead of rushing his shot, anticipating the clock, just finishing the play.
6 points for Hildreth. Laszewski misses on the 3. The woes from beyond the arc continue now. 0 of 8 for Notre Dame. Wake by 1, perhaps looking for the final shot.
Yeah, if you told Steve Forbes that Notre Dame would be 0 of 8 from 3 in the first half, he'd probably want a little bit bigger lead than this.
And at one point, Wake was trailing 16-4. Final seconds, intercepted. Starling hit the rim on the interception and heave. 27-26. Wake comes all the way back from 12 down, Mike, to take the 1-point lead to the locker room.
Yeah, no panic there. And, you know, Notre Dame started off offensively really strong, but slowed down some. Wasn't in the thing for Wake Forest. Balanced scoring, but nobody's really gotten to double figures yet. And actually, Nate Laszewski, a quiet afternoon for him, only 4 points. So the two primary scorers need to pick it up a little.
Monsanto up to 71 made threes on the season. He leads the team. Ryan led him scoring in the first half for Notre Dame. Last 3 games he's gotten to double digits straight away. Monsanto feeling it for Wake.
Pick and pop. Starling, a nice job getting a hand up on that, but Monsanto's got some good rhythm going.
4-3 of the ball game after a 14-point performance at Duke. He was just 3 of 12 on 3-point tries against the Blue Devils. Starling.
And Andrew Carr took one in the chops. He's still feeling it a little bit, and it looks like he got his went into his nose. That was a great take by Starling. Got the switch and used the dribble to get to the rim.
And then Starling and Appleby got tangled up coming up the court.
Yeah, and then Appleby was checking things out on his own and just never even saw Appleby.
Monsanto stepping back over Ryan for another 3.
And Tom, the defense has been very good in those last 2 shots.
5th time this year Monsanto's had 5 or more made threes, and then number 5 on the drive for the Irish.
But you know what? I think Steve Forbes could live with 2 points at a time from Notre Dame.
Looking for 2 points from Appleby. He got Starling in the air.
Much needed there, an early basket to get him into some rhythm.
As G-Man mentioned, just the 2 points in the first half for Appleby. 1 of 7 from the floor. Had that last basket. The lead is now 5 for Wake Forest. Goodwin. 0 of 9 now on 3-pointers for the Irish. Monsanto without hesitation, and he hit it.
It's ridiculous. I mean, he barely touched the ball. He kind of redirected it toward the rim. Everybody out there watching, want to know what the zone looks like? In the zone looks like that.
His teammate Tyree Appleby was in disbelief watching that one arc its way through the air and through the net.
Look at Appleby is still just like shaking. He's looking at him, shaking his head, whistling. Watch this. I mean, he barely touches it from the D.
Like he's 6 feet behind the line, which is 22 feet 1 3/4 inches away. So maybe in 28-foot neighborhood. Williamson, he's got a 3 right in front of his own bench.
Contagious. Williamson did not score in the first half. Talked about he had been struggling in the last 4 in this losing streak.
198 career threes for Williamson. Appleby and Hildreth collaborating on the rebound and staying inbounds. Appleby sheds the defender.
And here's what's happening, Tom. Because Monsanto is doing what he's doing, when he's in a screen action with Appleby, Cormac Ryan has to stay with him. He can't help it all, and that's freeing him up for a drive.
Davian Williamson out of the corner. Graduate student from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Third year in the weight program after transferring from East Tennessee State University.
It's a little different start than the first half for the Demon Deacons.
It was 16-4 early in the first half. Laszewski got free. Goodwin saw him.
Yeah, I mean they're really defending and overplaying out at the three-point line, so that's going to be there for Notre Dame.
6 points now for Laszewski.
The crowd can't believe Monsanto missed. He can't believe he missed.
Hammond in transition. Carr recovered and blocked it.
Yeah, Steve Forbes loves his defense.
Hildreth going Euro. Not over the front rim. Laszewski got it.
Didn't get past customs.
Could not declare a basket for Wake Forest. See Ryan on that backdoor cut too, Mike. He was looking for it from Goodwin. Ryan.
Yeah, they've defended that Laszewski screen and pop pretty well. Even though it was Appleby on him, he forced the ball out of his hands at last possession.
9-point lead after leading by a single point at halftime for Wake Forest. Deeks have come out firing, especially number 30. Able to save it. Monsanto. Shot clock is late. Appleby the recognition. Off the... Well, now stop, Mike. You know it's your day when something like that happens.
And Appleby's acting like he's hot. He got bailed out by the backboard that time.
Deeks have outscored the Irish 17-6 in the second half so far. Laszewski position and the height advantage. Timeout, Mike Bray. So Monsanto was firing the threes, and then Appleby. Was he looking for the backboard? Give him 3 either way. Wake by 10.
It's bow time.
Demon Deacons shooting 67% as a team in the second half. Mike, it's the Coyote tractor turning point.
And it's been number 30 who got things turned around, and his team has really fed off of the zone that he's playing in. Appleby with that bank shot. That was with the clock running down as well, but Damari Monsanto has been fabulous.
8 of 17 as a team on three-pointers. Monsanto is 6 of 9 on threes. His career high in a single game is 7. And they are 5 of 6 on threes in the second half. Monsanto a big reason why. I like the way Appleby played off that three off the backboard. Like, hey, I meant to do that. I'm good.
He's playing horse. How about Monsanto? 20 points on 10 field goal attempts. That's about as efficient as you're going to get.
Williamson out of the corner. He's on target with the 3 ball.
Now see that? I mean, Monsanto is one thing, but for Williamson to catch fire in this second half is a huge bonus. And Notre Dame is going to have to stand on the pedal here from 3 to keep up.
Laszewski with the jam.
Right now, I mean, they're just trading baskets 2 for 3. That math doesn't usually work out very well in your favor.
Laszewski to double digits now with 10 and 5 of 9 from the floor. Hildreth trying to inch his way. Ryan with the quick hands. Trying to race everybody to the rim. Basket and foul. Cormac Ryan.
That's the first turnover of the second half, and Notre Dame makes them pay.
The $20.
A lot of iconic things on this campus. The grotto, this very deep spiritual place. The dome. Touchdown Jesus, who we saw earlier. However, during basketball, it's three-point.
It is. That is the Word of Life mural. Cormac Ryan at the free throw line. Starting to get warmer outside too, G-Man. It's up to 33 degrees. When we arrived in town, it was about 15 maybe.
Man, I brought a top coat too. I don't need it.
You will not need that. Cormac Ryan finishes off the three-point play.
However, our native New England is getting hit a little hard today.
Some very low temperatures. Luckily, the Syracuse Orange are used to that sort of thing as they travel to BC tonight. 7 games on the schedule. Marsh on the alley-oop. Appleby served it up.
That against the zone, and Appleby can get into the paint area with a really nice lob.
Hammond, three-pointer, and the first of the game for Notre Dame.
And he is a very capable three-point shooter, 43% on the year. See if that opens things up for the Irish.
240 career-made threes. Marcus Hammond. Monsanto.
He's too close to the basket. He needs to be behind the arc.
Ryan trails the play. Laszewski gets it from Ryan.
Best look that he's had from three this afternoon.
Ryan and Laszewski in double-digit scoring for the Irish. 20 points for Monsanto. Williamson. Online but short. He's got a couple of threes in the game for Wake. Coach Bray told us prior to the game he's got a resilient group of young men, although Ryan gets called for the offensive foul there, but they're going to fight to the finish line, Mike.
You know what? That was just great individual effort by Appleby. Watch this. He fights over the screen, gets position, the left arm gets out. That is solid man-to-man defense on the ball.
So the ball back to Wake Forest. Cormac Ryan comes out of the game with his 11 points. Steve Forbes' team has made 9 three-pointers in the game, right about their season average, and second most per game in the ACC this year, trailing only Notre Dame. Marsh again, and they collaborate. Appleby to Marsh.
About that unreal high field goal percentage, but that's why it's a big target, and he's got good hands. He can go up and finish.
Zona tracks down the miss from Hammond. Starling reversing direction underneath the rim and in.
Now with that size, Marsh is not a shot blocker, so you can attack inside. He takes up a lot of space in the lane, but Starling using the rim to his advantage.
Mike, in the second half, almost every basket of the highlight variety between these two. Marsh wide open. He's going on a rim bender, and it's from Appleby again.
Monsanto, and how about 7 assists for Appleby?
Appleby is second in the conference, Mike, on average, 6 per game as far as assists go.
He's actually across the boards. He's honing in on a triple-double. I'm going to go at that too early.
We've seen one from Wake this season. Cameron Hildreth had one.
Hildreth, yeah.
Just the 3rd in school history, and that's Hammond.
See, now, if this game had started at 2, it would have been a different offensive thing. Just the first half, they kind of sleptwalk through.
Your feeling about the early games, noon and 1 start, well documented. Monsanto had it poked away, whistle and foul. How about Matthew Marsh and Tyree Appleby? What a combination for the Demon Deacons in front. Today's Protecting the Paint is brought to you by CBI Security.
See that great chase down from behind by Marcus Hammond. And, there have been some blocks in this game. And Cameron Hildreth right there. Andrew Carr with the stuff. And invariably, you get the block, and you can turn those into points on the other end of the floor. As Matthew Marsh taking up a lot of the screen.
4 blocks by Wake against the Irish.
Some weird numbers in this game, Tom. Wake has only taken 1 free throw, missed that, so they've got no points from the line. And Notre Dame has only 1 made 3. And there's Tyree Appleby. He's flirting around with the triple-double.
Certainly keep an eye on his progression as the afternoon continues. Monsanto, Mike just mentioned, the infrequent trips to the free throw line for Wake. Monsanto is there. Wake Forest was 16 of 17 in the loss to Duke, Mike, from the free throw line. That was just a 2-point loss, 75-73 on Tuesday in Durham. Something else going on in Durham later on, too, I think, later today on the schedule.
Yeah, Laszewskiville is going to empty. The tents will be empty around 6:30, maybe earlier.
North Carolina and Duke renewing the rivalry. Of course, they played at the end of the season last year. Newton Davis's team beat him in his first year as head coach. Then they went to the Final Four.
Yeah, they spoiled Mike Krzyzewski's final home game with the win there, and then in the semifinals of the Final Four.
Get that.
Short jumper, Goodwin. Appleby, lightning quick. Klintman is in there, 34 in black and gold. Got it back. He wants a three. He's got it.
As he expands his range, he's going to become more and more dangerous. And it's not many times you see a guy doubled at the three-point line, but that's what happened with Monsanto, and that's why Klintman got the good look.
First three for Klintman. And now 10 made threes on 20 tries by Wake Forest. Even I can figure out that math, Mike. 50%.
It's that Syracuse education. Shining.
Laszewski, he checked the line. He backed it up.
That's how open he was. A chance to look down, make sure his feet were behind the arc.
Just the second made three of the game for the Fighting Irish.
They had nobody in double figures in the first half. Now they've got three guys there.
And did not make a three in the first 20 minutes. Monsanto wide of the intended target. Klintman tried to save it. Hammond. Laszewski preserving the possession to Goodwin. He came up short.
Two decent looks at the three.
Nine-point Wake lead. Appleby on the drive. The foul was on the floor by Hammond. Second on Hammond. You want to stay tuned for the fast break. It's presented by your local Ford dealer. And we actually will break down a couple of games coming up on the schedule today. Miami and Clemson, a couple of ranked teams, and North Carolina and Duke to finish off the 7-game schedule on this Saturday. First of two meetings, of course, between the rivals. G-Man, a big part of that rivalry, late 70s.
It's an unbelievable honor to be able to play in that game. It's hard to describe how different it is from every other game that you play. And, you know, for the freshmen at Duke this year, it's going to be a first. And that first Duke-Carolina game is not easy to get used to.
Wake Forest was looking for a sweep of Duke this season, Mike. They had beaten them earlier in the year, but then lost on Tuesday in Durham. Warwick's able to corral it.
A really streaky game so far. Monsanto is cooled off now from behind the arc. Notre Dame playing better offensively.
Wirtz was trying to drive, and the second foul on Williamson. Trey Wirtz, who just inbounded the basketball back in the 21 ACC tournament. A three at the buzzer in the first round to beat this Wake Forest program. And then he grabs the loose ball and finds Laszewski. Tees up a three.
Well, that's what's happened. The last couple of times, the Notre Dame's gotten good looks from scatters. You know, with the turnover that time, the defense isn't set, and you give Laszewski that much time, he's going to knock those down.
16 points, Laszewski, the leading scorer for the Irish.
And he had 4 in the first half.
Appleby got to the basket and got fouled with just over 8 minutes to go in our second half.
Take time right now, Tom, to remember Billy Packer passing away. And, you know, just great. I have great remembrance of him having he called my games at Duke, and then become, you know, working with him in the ACC. Just an icon in the sport.
Yeah, last Thursday, Billy Packer passing away at 82 years of age.
People forget how great a player he was.
That's a full Mike, right? 1962.
That's a great era in Wake Forest basketball in the early part of the 60s.
Twice he was on an ACC championship team, on the team that went to the Final Four in 1962, and 35 straight years broadcasting the NCAA tournament.
I don't know we'll ever see that again. And how about this? And he goes to broadcast in the ACC with his coach, Bones McKinney.
We extend our very best to the Packer family and the Wake Forest basketball family. Knocked around underneath. Appleby. Trying to do it himself. Finds Hildreth. Stumbles on the baseline. Got it to Williamson. Marsh ran it down in the corner. Starling almost had the turnover. And he stepped out of bounds. 7.5 minutes to go in regulation with Wake Forest in front of Notre Dame. It's time for the Fast Break, presented by your local Ford dealer. It is a big day in the ACC, highlighted by a couple of matchups we want to show you right now. And first, Mike, we'll look at a couple of ranked teams in Miami and Clemson, which is undefeated at home this season.
And it's not too early to start looking at the top 4 seeds in the conference, Tom, and a double bye in the ACC tournament. And like you said, Clemson has been very tough. As good a defensive team as there is in the country. Miami brings in that good offense. Of course, Hunter Tyson at home. But I think wild card for Clemson may be P.J. Hall. When he has a big game, life is a lot easier for him. Jordan Miller and then Tyson may be a great matchup.
Yeah, the Tigers are 10-2 in conference play and at the top of the standings. Miami is 8-4 in ACC play. And then it is the rivalry. Renewed North Carolina and Duke, G-Man.
Yeah, it really couldn't be any closer than it is, and this should be terrific. Both teams sitting there at 7-4. They both want to keep close to that top group, so this has a lot of implications for it as far as standings. And of course, you know, they could be 0-10, both of them, and it'd be a fabulous game.
And they did meet in the Final Four last year. The rivalry goes look around the league here in the ACC. How about that first result, Mike? Number 6 Virginia goes down in Blacksburg.
Big win for Mike Young and his group. They're healthy. They've got everybody back. They're going to be a dangerous team down the stretch. They've got their backcourt intact. You score 74 points against Virginia, you've had a good game.
Yeah, top scoring defense in all the ACC. Justin Mutz had 17 to lead the way. Louisville and Florida State as the Cards try to string together wins after their midweek win against Georgia Tech. Later on, Syracuse, Boston College. Georgia Tech and NC State is close, and then the 2 games that we previewed coming up later today.
You know, everybody's talking about Clemson and Pitt, as they should, but NC State is right there at the top for that double bye.
That was Appleby on the jumper. Ryan was challenged by Hildreth. The arrow will favor the Irish.
Very nice defense. Carr just going straight up that time, challenging the shot.
Eight points for Hildreth in the game. Monsanto leads the way. He's got 22. Laszewski hit the deck. Goodwin grabbed it on the weak side. Ball did not hit the rim. Laszewski.
And Hildreth bailed him out that time. There was 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and Laszewski was dribbling left, was going to have a difficult time just getting the ball up on the rim, and he bailed him out with a foul.
Irish trying to stay within striking distance, getting late in this one. Trailed by a point at halftime. Trailed by 13 now. Starling on the drive.
Yeah, you got a backcourt out there with Williamson and Appleby, both under 6 feet tall, and it's 6'5", Starling, and it's got that ability. Look at the burst of speed to go up, go left, and finish right.
So Starling at the free throw line. Can't finish it off. Appleby. Recovered, fired into the corner. Williamson. Hildreth driving on Goodwin. Goodwin stayed with the play and knocked it out of bounds.
Really nice rotation defensively by Notre Dame to close out on shooters. They close down the three-point shot and they get the block inside. 6 seconds on the shot clock. There's a look. Goodwin now. It's a couple of blocks in this game.
Shot clock all the way down for Hildreth. Ball did not hit the rim. That's a shot clock violation against Wake Forest.
I don't know that he was aware of the shot clock at that point. He was a little casual when he first caught the ball and then realized how little time he had.
Wake had its largest lead of the game just a moment ago at 65-52 of 13 points. Wirtz pass was deflected by Carr and then it hit the shot clock, so the Irish maintained possession.
Good hands defensively. I think a bounce pass would have gotten through to Laszewski that time.
$16 points for Laszewski. Can add to the total. 3 of 18 on three-pointers for Notre Dame. Carr with the feed from Hildreth, easy two.
Well, you know, both Carr and especially Marsh have really profited from that pick and roll and getting right to the front of the rim.
4 points for Carr. Had a buzzer-beating jumper against App State earlier this season. Clinton ended up with the ball. Laszewski was in the front row.
Here's the look. You see that it just kind of slipped the screen. Laszewski really showing out on the help and nobody on the weak side. That's the 6th foul for Wake, so one more, and Notre Dame shooting in the bonus for the rest of the game. Both teams with 16 fouls.
Fewest makes in a game this season for the Irish was 2 against St. Bonaventure. And now they still have 3 makes after Laszewski misfires.
He's getting some decent looks too.
Appleby wasting no time trying to get around Ryan and spin it off the backboard.
You know, when he's running downhill, it's just virtually impossible to keep him in front. Here's the look. I mean, you know, does a nice job hitting the brakes, and then he's pretty crafty about getting a shot up on the rim.
How about the players that Steve Forbes has been able to mine from the transfer portal, including Appleby at the free throw line? For a moment now, let's get a message from Coyote Tractor.
In my experience, if you work the land, you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to have a little bit of optimism and a whole lot of get-go.
You get Alondas Williams in the portal, and Appleby. You're doing some pretty good work there.
Appleby is 4 for 4 from the line. He's gone to the line 152 times this season, Mike. Second best in the conference. Almost got it away from Ryan and then committed the foul. How about Appleby today, Mike? 13 points, 7 boards, and 7 assists.
And Tom, in the last 5 games, he's missed a total of 4 minutes of play.
He's not in the picture right now. He's over chatting with Steve Forbes with Cormac Ryan at the free throw line. Tyree Appleby, a couple of seasons at Florida. Also played 2 years at Cleveland State, first year in the Wake program.
And this is how Notre Dame has got to get back in this game. They've got to make it a little ugly. They've got to convert on free throws, but get to the line, try to slow things down a little bit.
You know, Appleby, Mike, with his scoring average this season, 18.1. First among major conference players 6 feet or shorter. Big reason why Wake has a chance to snap a 4-game losing streak this season. Monsanto not bashful at all.
That's bad news for Notre Dame. Good defense again, but nothing has phased Damari Monsanto in this game today.
7 threes in a game, ties a career high. He's also tied his career high in points with 25 today. Monsanto. And this one slipping away from the Irish.
And and just right now, and Steve Forbes putting up the stop sign on third base. Rounding wants his team to run some clock now with this possession.
Hildreth pushed off. Fourth on Hildreth. So with inside of 4 minutes to go, the Irish getting the ball back. Let's check out our Z-Max Max Performance, and it's Damari Monsanto from Wake Forest.
Yeah, 7 of 11 from 3, and he was the one who got this team going offensively, Tom. In the first half, they were really struggling to score. He started knocking down threes, and then just got into an insane zone, 7 of 11 from deep. And some of them have been deep.
The 7 threes made also ties a career high for a single game, Monsanto.
And how about Mr. Appleby? 14 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Pretty strong stat line there.
Trying to match his teammate Cameron Hildreth, who has a triple-double this season.
He's the 4th in Wake Forest history, if it happens.
Tim Duncan, Alondas Williams last year, Cameron Hildreth this year. That's quite a sentence to belong in. Hildreth could not shed Laszewski.
Duncan's triple-double was a blocks triple-double and an assist.
Hildreth did it with points, rebounds, and assists. Clinton trying to save it on the baseline. And that appears to be Irish basketball. They got to do something in a hurry, Mike. 3 and change to go.
Yeah, I mean, just, they're not going to win many games scoring 57 points. And, it's really where the 3-point shot. And Steve Forbes, they've defended that line pretty well.
Irish average almost 71 points per game, 10th in the ACC.
That's as effective as you're going to be if you can defend without fouling against Notre Dame and drive them off the 3-point line.
Notre Dame had stopped a 4-game losing streak of its own, Mike, with the win last Saturday against Louisville. Prior to that, they defeated Georgia Tech on this floor at home mid-January.
Well, and and we talked about the top of the conference. Wake wants to get on a little bit of a streak here. They want to avoid Tuesday at the front end. They're tied with Syracuse at 6-6, right in the middle. But those bottom 6 teams have a long, long road.
Laszewski's at the free throw line. Here is the upcoming schedule, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. Demon Deacons against North Carolina Tuesday at 7, and that's in Winston-Salem. They lost at North Carolina this season early January, 88-79.
Much more deliberate offense here, running clock.
Hammond grabbed the jersey a little bit there by Appleby, who was streaking through the lane. 3rd on Hammond.
That's what happens if you're just really active and moving without the basketball. You get those type of fouls. And Appleby is tough enough with the basketball, but when he's moving without it like that, he draws those types of grabs.
Last victory here for Wake Forest was mid-February of 2019. With Appleby at the free throw line. If the score holds, it would be Steve Forbes' first win on the road. Here at Notre Dame is the Wake Forest head coach. Appleby's all smiles, and for good reason. It's coming off a 27-point performance in Durham against Duke. Game high 27. Appleby today, Mike, 14 points. That is now 15 straight games of double digits. Tyree Appleby.
And Steve Forbes, he talked to us about it. You know, you go through 3 two-point losses like that. It was different things in each of those games that caused that, but still, it doesn't make up for the lack of sleep that you have after those nights.
What did he say to us prior to the game? I'd rather lose by 10, 15 than 2 and 1 and the close games. This one might not be a close final score. Irish losing it. Klintman to the floor. Ryan got it back. Bounced it to Laszewski. Wirtz for 3. Appleby has it. He found Carr. Starling has the foul for Notre Dame. So Carr will be at the free throw line. Andrew Carr, the junior from Westchester, Pennsylvania.
You know, I looked at it before the game, and we touched on he was in our open with J.J. Starling. Coming off of 2 really good games. I thought he was in a really good rhythm, and especially playing against a smaller backcourt, but has just not been able to get anything going this afternoon. It's only taken, but he's been more aggressive. He's almost got 8 field goal attempts in the game.
Demon Deacons had a 4-game winning streak prior to the 4-game losing streak, which appears to be ending.
Yeah, they were rolling. They were 6-2 and sailing right along.
Right now 6-6 in conference play. Good win. There's a little bit of life with a 3 from the corner. Certainly seen crazier things, Mike, on an ACC court.
When?
I'll get the staff on that to look it up.
I'm not saying anybody should change the channel right now by any means.
Okay. Notre Dame's got the ball back. Goodwin. Monsanto poked it away and then grabbed it. So Appleby will slowly bring it up. Klintman. That's pretty much the day right there for Wake Forest.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen some pretty good play by the freshman. Wake Forest fans should be really high on Bobby Klintman and his future.
Knocked out of bounds. Wake made 9 threes, Mike, in the game against Duke in a losing effort. Today they are 13 of 29 on 3-pointers.
And that was about in 30 minutes of action, because the first 10 of this game, they were not involved at all.
Once Monsanto started making his threes, and he was really the only guy in the first half to effectively shoot the 3.
See, and I've always contended, too, that type of shooting is contagious. You know, when people see that, you know, you just feel a little bit better about the ball going in the basket.
7 threes from Monsanto, and then 2 from Appleby, Williamson.
Zona gets the follow on the drive.
Klintman also has a couple of threes. Alex Wade into the game for Notre Dame. Oh, goodness. Monsanto again. High degree of difficulty. New career high with 28. Also for made threes in a game, he's now got 8.
8 of 13. 1 of 2 from being inside the arc.
What an afternoon for Damari Monsanto as that one spins out. Irish got it back, and a foul on the play. Sanders fighting underneath. Just a 1-point game at halftime.
And you and I, well, actually, you're going to be up here, see some more action.
I'm going to stick around,
yeah,
calling the women's game tomorrow, Duke and Notre Dame.
You know, we were talking about that Duke-North Carolina matchup tonight. Duke's got to turn around on Monday and go down to Coral Gables and play Miami. That is a stout back-to-back. Because I'll tell you, that game tonight is like playing a game and a half.
23rd season will be his last at Notre Dame for Mike Bray. Maybe not a win today, but he does have the most wins in school history.
I'm very fortunate to call him a friend. He's been wonderful to me through all my stuff, and I met him when he was on Mike Laszewski's staff. He's a great, great gentleman.
Next up, it'll be Wednesday at Georgia Tech for Notre Dame. Wake has North Carolina on the schedule and wins this one 81-64. What a second half performance by Wake.
Yeah, and really, you know, the performance by Damari Monsanto is one of the best shooting exhibitions I've seen in a long time, especially